Hello, this is Les. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you've seen any of my videos, you'll know that I'm into building miniature model steamboats using a family of little steam engines that I've designed and built. In this case, I've always been asked, can you make the engines reversible? So in this video, I'm showing two of the engines, the self-starting engines, meaning they'll start up on their own and run. I made them reversing. The simplest way I know how is just by reversing the direction of flow of the steam through the engine. And I'll zoom in here on, this is the 3-cylinder. And I designed this little two-way valve right here, which reverses the steam flow through the engine. This is the exhaust. These would be the 3 exhaust valves on the top, and I've connected them up with a manifold, and I've brought them into this little two-way face valve that I designed. And so the steam can be diverted from going into the inlet, which is this lower pipe right down here, to the exhaust. So it reverses the direction of flow of steam through the engine. And surprisingly, it works almost as well in reverse as it does in forward. I thought it probably wouldn't, because the steam is working against the valves. The valves are in these tubes right here, and they go up and down. So the steam is kind of working against them to a certain degree, but it doesn't seem to affect them at all. I'm going to pause the video here and take the valve apart and show you what it looks like in the inside. This would be the engine running forward, and that would be running in reverse. And I'm just going to open this up, and I will show you in a minute how that valve works. Okay, so here's the face valve right here. I call it a face valve because the two valve parts work by just having the flat surfaces of the movable part fit against the flat face of the valve body. And you can see there's 4 holes here. The bottom hole goes back here to the normal intake pipe. And this hole right here comes from the boiler. This hole right here is the exhaust, and this hole right here goes up to this manifold that I made that fits on top of the exhaust ports. And this is the spring-loaded little face valve right here, and as you can see, it has 2 grooves in it that in one position the boiler, the steam from the boiler goes down to the normal intake valve of the engine for running and forward, and then if you reverse it 90 degrees, the steam is directed to go up to the top and into the engine backwards through this manifold right here. And then correspondingly, when the steam is lined up this way, then the exhaust is lined up through these 2 holes and goes out that way. So again, it just basically reverses the direction of steam through the engine. I'm going to pause the video and put the valve back together. Okay, I've got the valve back together, and I've hooked up the boiler to an air supply to, first of all, demonstrate the valve, how it works under air pressure, because I think I can demonstrate it better. The engine doesn't get so hot that you can't pick it up with your fingers and move it around and show it. Okay, so the air is on now. Got a little too much pressure there. That would be forward and reverse. If you put it right in the middle, there's the airflow is blocked, so and you can kind of throttle the engine and run it too. So that demonstrates the 3-cylinder. I'll do the same thing with the 2-cylinder double-acting engine. It's actually a little bit better to see on this engine, the valve. This hole goes up to the, normally these would be the exhaust coming up through the top, and this would be the intake on the back, the intake pipe, and so the airflow is just reversed through the engine. I'm going to put some water and fuel in the boilers and run the engines on steam pressure now, and I'm going to pause the film while I get set up for that. Okay, the boilers are filled with water, and the fuel is denatured alcohol, and the burners are lit. Now, 3-cylinder is running on steam. It's running forward. Now it's running in reverse. reverse, two-cylinder double-acting engine is running in reverse. Now it's running in forward, reverse, forward,